It seemed like the storm is over. So folks got to kicking and screaming, holler, cussing and fussing, and they finally got their way. But God doggone, you know what? It's still work that got to be done. Not only that, we got some coordinators that have moved from one program to the next that's looking to shake some things up in these conferences that their new teams play in. And we can't forget about the athletes. We got to talk about the athletes just a little bit, because I got a rebuttal, not a rebuttal. Yeah, not a rebuttal, but a recap. I got a recap for the athletes, because there's another piece of information that I want to give them to make sure that with them getting in this transfer portal, they understand the task at hand of what they need to do to make sure that those eyes are still on them wherever it is that they land. Because like I always said before, it's all about seeing growth. I want to see these young men get out here and get to where they're trying to go. If you couldn't get it done over at one HBCU, you decide to go to another one, fine. If you decide, hey, I want to go to an FBS program or a higher tier FCS program, understood. But just want to make sure that you're able to get yourself in position to get to where you're trying to go and obtain the goal, reach the goal that you set for yourself when you first came into playing collegiate football. So we're going to go ahead and get into all of that right after this. It's your favorite coach back at it again. 10 toes down, about to tell you how it all went down. This is Tomorrow Leader Sports Network with your host, Coach Walker. If you're new to the channel, please like, share, subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you can get all upcoming videos. For all my leaders out there, welcome back. Y'all know the drill. Y'all know the routine. If you haven't done so already, please like, comment, share these videos, and tap in the free to tell them to come on in. It's nothing but positive vibes. We're just having a good time talking about HBCU sports. And don't forget, you can follow us on all social media platforms. The links are listed down below in the description. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and jump on in this thing. I know you're like, Coach, what's your thoughts on this? Well, look, I'm going to tell you this right now. Before I jump into that, let me give you my recap on one of the topics that I touched on in the previous show. If you have not checked that out, please go check that previous show out that I dropped yesterday so that you can get a bit of understanding as far as the information that I shared concerning the quarterback from over at UCLA that went to Congress and sat down and talked to them about NIL deals and collectives that seems like the government is trying to get their hands in and try to manipulate this thing so that they can, see where the money's coming from. Get into everybody else's business. That thing that, people like to often do when they get mad and they don't quite understand what's going on. They say, hey, if I can't beat them, I can join them. Let me go ahead and join them. Well, in this instance, they ain't trying to join. They trying to be you. They're trying to get in there to find out exactly what's really going on. And possibly, if they can go ahead and tax that thing in the manner which they want to, they want to find a way to go ahead and tax them companies as well. So I'm just letting everybody know, please keep your eyes on the sparrow when it comes to that particular topic, because it's going to get thick as the years go on, because there's a lot of athletes out there that's making money that they feel shouldn't have their hands on that type of money when it comes to playing a collegiate sport. Not only that, but again, some of them are a little upset and mad because kids are, they're taking their talents to one school. They say they're going to commit and sign one place and then decide they want to go somewhere else. So that's the type of time that we're on right now. But my rebuttal as far as what I want to talk about was the transfer portal. Right now, you got a lot of athletes that are jumping into the portal. I was just looking at General Hunt, the other young man I talked about in the previous video that jumped into the transfer portal, Johnny Chaney Jr. from over at FAMU. Just want to make sure I got both of those names right so I can talk about them. But I want everyone to understand this. We've seen a lot of athletes that jumped into the transfer portal, Andrew Body, Quincy Casey, so on and so forth. There's been a lot of athletes that have been shaking and baking and moving, trying to find other places for them to continue their collegiate football careers. And there's nothing wrong with that. I want athletes to be happy wherever it is that they go, and they're going to have a chance to do whatever it is that they need to do for them to obtain the goals that they set for themselves and for their families, in the near future. I say all of that to say this. As time go on, and there's no one that has really said this, so I wanted to make sure, because I got my coach's hat on right now, I put it out there for everybody to understand where I'm coming from. Looking at a couple of the messages that I got back from yesterday's show, like I said, please go check that show out. People, there's one person in particular felt like, that we were trying to hold the athletes back. And I'm like, nah, that's not the point that's not the message that I'm trying to portray as far as what's going on. What I want the athletes to understand is how people are trying to get in there and dictate as far as the money that they're going to make or receive from NIL deals. Not only that, but there's a lot of people out here that are putting collectives together, in which you have the Senate, the government, that want to come in and find out where's this money coming from. Who's coming up with this cash flow to scribble these checks for these athletes for them to go to a particular school? They want to find out exactly how are these collectives able to, navigate, get these athletes to navigate to these different institutions without there being any issues, because some of these kids, they may have been committed to go to a particular school. They decide they didn't want to go there. So now it's a big issue. But the biggest thing that I want everybody to understand outside of the NIL piece is that right now there's athletes out there that's looking to get drafted. And we're right around the corner from the NFL draft, combine, and all that good stuff that's going on. Some folks got an invite, some people did. If you're going to transfer and go to a different program for you to go continue your collegiate football career, keep in mind one thing. Make sure the numbers that you're putting up at that particular college institution that you're transferring to, make sure those numbers are the same, or if not better than what they were when you were at the previous institution. Why do I say this? Because you have a lot of people whose eyes were on you. Say I'm gonna use FAMU as the example. Say you got athlete A that was at FAMU that was balling out of control. They were putting on for the city. They were doing whatever it was that they need to do for everybody to understand that he was him. He decides, I want to go over to another FCS school. I want to go to FBS school and continue my collegiate football career. Well, you get over to that institution, you're playing that program, and you're not out there, you're not contributing in the manner which you were at FAMU. Guess what happens? People lose sight of what it is that you were doing because you're not on their radar anymore. So they don't even know that you're over there. Why? Because you're not making any noise over there. So when it comes down time for you to get a draft grade, you don't get that draft grade because you've been overlooked, because there might have been a couple a player or two that might have got out there and did a hell of a lot better than you did on the field that particular season, and you got overlooked as far as these were the guys that they were looking at. Not only that, but then what about the exposure that a lot of these athletes are looking for when scouts that come out there and look for athletes that they want to bring into the program? Those individuals are not going to see you because they don't know where you are. You don't get the invites. Not only that, but what about the postseason bowl games that's going on? The Shrine Bowl, the HBCU Legacy Bowl, things of that nature, where you're getting opportunities to have for you to be seen by scouts to possibly get drafted. I mean, all of that stuff is out of the window because, again, nobody knows you're there. Especially if you go into the FBS system, they're going to be thinking that you're getting pulled in by, hopefully you're getting a NFL Combine invite to come, go to Indianapolis or wherever it is for you to go out there and showcase your talents and skills. So all I'm saying is just make sure you do the things necessary for people to continue to keep their eye on you, to make sure that they push you to where you're trying to go. That's all Coach trying to tell you. That's it. I know it was a little long-winded, but hopefully I got my point across. But we're going to talk about these coaches, though, because I'm sitting here like, whoa. I'm looking at what's going on here, and I need somebody to check on my good friend G over there at Alcorn State University, because I know he is trying to figure out what in the world is going on when the Big Bad Braves lose their co-offensive coordinator. Yes, co-offensive coordinator Coach Phillips is moving on to go coach over at Norfolk State University with former Southern University head football coach Odums, who is the head coach over at Norfolk State University, has tapped him on the shoulder and said, come on over here. I need you over here in this program to come run this offense. This is your show. Come run the show. You got it. Because one thing I looked at when it came to Coach Phillips, I got to give Coach Phillips his props. His ability to coach up athletes, to position them, to get them in position to play other positions on the offense outside of the position that they may have, come into the program that they were accustomed to playing when they were in high school, or a different position when they transfer in, from another college, for them to get on the field and be productive. His ability to get out there and do that, I mean, it speaks volumes. And not only that, but these athletes are getting out there on the field and they playing at a high level. The coach has more than 20 years of coaching experience. He came over to Alcorn State from Mississippi Gulf Coast Community College, where he was a offensive coordinator, quarterback coach, and receivers coach. So I got to salute Coach on that one, and definitely looking forward to seeing exactly what he's going to do over there at Norfolk State University. Watching him run that RPO offense, that's going to be crazy, because now he's going to stretch folks' defenses out over there, having them wonder who in the heck got the daggone ball and where that ball is going out there on the field. Trust and believe that offense is going to be potent, and he's going to have some folks frustrated. Not folks, he's going to have the defensive coordinators frustrated, because if those defensive players is not disciplined out there on that field, especially that front seven, it's going to be lights out. And Norfolk State going to turn it up on whoever it is that they line up in front of, because I honestly feel Coach Odums is looking to get things moving in a direction that he once had them moving when he was coaching over at Southern University. So this is going to be something phenomenal to watch. I can't wait to see exactly what Coach Phillips does over there with the program. But I will say this, looking at what the Spartans did last season as far as the quarterback play, it's a great pickup for him, because now Coach Phillips get to go in there, work with the quarterbacks, and get them ready to go out there and play the game, get them to understand the game a little bit better than maybe they were understanding previously, and then look at the different things that they can do within the offense to kind of relieve some of the chaos that might be going through their head sometime out there on the field. Because you got to remember, sometimes as a football player, we get to thinking a little bit too much up here. It gets to play a little bit more chaotic in between your ears than it does what you're looking at out there on the field. And it has a tendency of causing players to make rash decisions when they don't need to, which is costly to the team. So, Coach Phillips, salute to you as far as with you going over there to coach with head coach Odums over at Norfolk State University. Can't wait to see how that's going to turn out. But this next one, though, Tennessee State University head coach Eddie George has decided that he's going to make a move himself on the offensive side of the ball. Funny thing is, Eddie George's offense, the team did great this past season. They actually had their first winning season since 2017, in which they both had the same record, which was 6-5. One thing I'll say is, looking at how everything is turning out right now with the coach that's coming over from North Dakota State University, Coach Tyler Roll, my goodness. Coach played for the program. He's coached in the program. Coach has gone from grad assistant all the way up to being an offensive coordinator. When you say loyalty, he was with the program 11 years. And North Dakota State University has been putting on year after year after year after year. Let me put it like this. Looking at what North Dakota State University football team was able to do within that offense, within Coach Roll's office, is nuts. I'm going to tell you why. The Bison's offense, and this is according to your information, the Bison's was ranked in rushing yards, rushing touchdowns, and offensive touchdowns, second in completions percentage, passing efficiency, and red zone scoring, third in scoring offense and third down conversion percentage, and fourth in rushing offense. That's nuts. That is crazy. North Dakota State led the nation 3 seasons straight and ranked first or second in rushing yards 4 out of 5 seasons, with Roll being the offensive coordinator. That's crazy. That is unheard of. And I'm going to tell you why. Great thing for Tennessee State. The reason why Coach Roll is such a great addition to the Tennessee State football team is because they got a quarterback over there in that program that is considered a dual threat quarterback. This young man can spin it as well as run it. And getting someone in there to unlock the talent that this young man has within a offense is going to be scary. One thing that I looked at as far as Tennessee State last season, rushing yards per carry was 3.9, while the passing yards were 5.6 per pass. Now, I know when you look at the rushing yards, you say, wait a minute, coach, 3.9 ain't bad. 3 you're looking at 3 yards in the cloud of dust. You do that 3 times, you got a first down. But what happens when the game is on the line, or better yet, the game is tight, and you need to move that ball down the field? The passing game ain't working, but you need to run the ball, and you can't. In this instance, Coach Roll is going to find a way to get that offense unlocked for Tennessee State to be able to run that ball in the manner which they're looking to this upcoming season. Again, Coach Eddie George, he understands that, yeah, we had a winning season last year. Now they're looking to go out there and compete for it all. With the new additions that's coming into the Tennessee State Tigers football program, Coach Roll, as well as the athletes that they're recruiting in, this is going to be something fun to watch go on next season for the Tennessee State Tigers football program. So, Coach Eddie George, Coach Roll, wish you guys nothing but the best of luck as far as what you're looking to do with that. And I understand things are ready to go ahead and take off. And whoo, I can't wait to see this last one. I know y'all been waiting on this. Like, Coach, you could have went ahead and gave us this first. We had to hear all the rest of this stuff. Why you just couldn't give us this first? Listen, guys, bring something down to you. I know the FAMU Rattler fans over there, they're excited and happy because they finally got what they wanted. But I got to ask this question. Was it at a cost? I'm glad Coach Colzie was named the head football coach over the football program. I left that in the show for you guys, a week ago, saying this should have been done already. Because right now, looking at how everything is shaping up and all of the chaos that has taken place and the information that's gotten out there amongst the masses, I think he would have been the best fit. I'm not going to get into that. I'm not going to get into that during this video. I'll say that for another time because we're going to celebrate Coach as far as him becoming the 19th head football coach of the FAMU Rattlers Football Team. This is his second stint at being a head football coach. So this is going to be a phenomenal thing for him as well. Not only that, he was the head football coach over at St. Mary's in Canada. I think it's St. Mary's University in Canada. So we're going to see how everything turns out for him over there. While he was the head coach over that program, he went 17-20. And this, like I stated before, that was his first time being a head football coach. Now, Coach Colzie is definitely taking over a football team, taking over a football program that had the third best scoring defense in all FCS. Now, statistically, FAMU was off the charts as far as looking at what that defense was able to do, that dark cloud defense that was able to do last season, in which they were number 1 defense passing efficiency, number 2 defense, they had a number 2 total defense, number 2 third down defense, number 3 scoring defense, number 4 rush defense, number 9 red zone defense, and number 10 defense in sacks. I'm waiting to see how all of this going to turn out next season. You know why? Because Coach Colzie got to come in there and start shaking hands, kissing babies, and loving on folks, letting them know, I need you to come be a part of my program, because there's a lot of athletes that's going to be moving on from the program that don't have any eligibility left. So signing day is rapidly approaching. So I'm waiting to see exactly the type of athletes that Coach Colzie is going to have coming into the program to become FAMU Rattler ball players for this upcoming season. Who's going to come into this program that's going to be ready to get out there and be productive immediately? Because, again, there was a lot of pieces that was lost, as well as there was a lot of pieces that came, well, not a lot of pieces, but there was a few pieces that came in that was recruited prior to Director of Recruiting Coach Resprez leaving and going to Colorado to, go out there and work with Deion Sanders with that program. So definitely this is going to be interesting to see how everything turns out. But guys, you got your guy. Let's see how this is going to go, because I know there's going to be some folks that are, man, dang, Coach, God, nah, we're not going to do that. Celebrate the coach, uplift him, give him whatever he needs to make sure that this thing runs, no matter what you need to run. But guys, I got to say congratulations to everybody, all of the coaches out there, as far as them being able to move and do the things that they need to do to continue building their careers for them to get to where they're trying to go. So once again, congratulations to everybody. Also, I hope the information that I provided, the athletes in the beginning, as far as with them, jumping into the transfer portal and understanding that they got to make sure that their numbers is on point for people to continue to keep their eye on them so that they know exactly where they are when they transfer over to these other schools, making sure you're going to a program where you're getting that same type of time that you was getting at the previous program that you left, or more time out there on the field, because that's important. But guys, Coach going to go ahead and get up on out this thing. But until next time, be the one and lead.